Hi guys. So I want to give you an update on what's been going on with my finger. So just to be brief, this finger I had the tip of it cut off back on December 18th, and about a month or two ago, the finger actually like grew back quite remarkably, and it was still in pain though, so I couldn't use it because of the pain. So there's nerve damage. So if it touches a piano or if it touches anything, I'm in pain. But about a couple weeks ago, that started to subside. And I came up with all these different things. Let me show you. These were made on a. These were made by Glenn Mossy, our PWJ member Glenn Mossy, on his 3D printer. So I can't put this on right now because it's wrapped too thickly, but this is to protect the finger from banging into the sharps. And then I tried all sorts of things. This is a sewing thimble. That worked pretty well, but it was too slippery. And then here's you know what that is? This is what guitarists and banjo players use. This is actually not bad. You get a good grip on the piano key, but um, it doesn't give you that much pain protection. Then this girl who lives in my town um, made this beautiful thing. She was a jewelry maker, like a jewelry designer, and she made me this little cage to my specifications. But again, it was too slippery and it's slipping off. And this is the latest thing that I posted. I'm into steampunk, so I decorated it. This was actually like some type of medical splint, but after I painted it and added the gears, and then I added this on the bottom so that it wouldn't be slippery. This was actually worked out the best. So I spent the past week um, playing with this. Now I can't actually use the number 4 finger, but I was able to get this on with no wrap, just right in, and then play, and it was protecting my finger. So in the middle of all this, I was sent to a place called Occupational Therapy. So, and the company was called Professional Physical and Hand Therapy at 405 Northfield Avenue in West Orange, New Jersey. And I'm not giving you their name as a recommendation. This is the opposite. This is a place to avoid. This is what this warning is all about. So, what happens at occupational hand therapy? Well, number one, they give you a lot of strengthening exercises, which I had no idea how weak my hands were. I have weaker than average hands. You would think like 40 years of piano playing that my hands would strengthen up by now, but sorry, flies. I think the fibromyalgia that I have affects all parts of the body, right? So if you suffer from muscular weakness and muscular pain, your hands are not immune. It affects every part of your body. So when you go to hand therapy or occupational therapy, for those of you that also have injuries, the first thing they do is that you put your hands in heat, which is kind of nice. And then you get a little massage, which is also kind of nice. And then you start with the hand workout, which is can be a little on the grueling side. You know, this is called the thenar muscle. And this is the muscle that counts when you're doing scales and you have to do, do those rip roaring runs like Johnny does. You have to have a very, very, very good muscle here. I don't have one. The muscle is completely flat. It's like fallen. Very sad. So now let me tell you about that was just for the weakness in my hands, which I didn't know I suffer from. Who knew? But now let me tell you what they did for my nerve pain for this finger that got cut off. So they come out with a tray of 8 sticks like dowels, and every not 8, 10 of them. There were 10 of them, and every dowel had a different top. So like dowel number 1 was covered in felt, and then dowel number 2 had a more rougher fabric, and then you get to like one is covered with wood, one's with hard plastic, one is metal. When you get to dowel number 8, it's the hard side of the Velcro, and then dowel number 10 is actual sandpaper. And what you're supposed to do with these dowels is you take the dowel, I'm just going to use this for an example. You take the dowel and you rub it on where you have the pain, which sounds very, very counterintuitive, and I couldn't do it. The most that I could do was touch it. Like your skin has to be bare, the wound has to be exposed, and you touch it, and you just start with number 1 with the felt. And I did that. And when I would come home at night, I would just touch it to whatever, fabric I had. Usually, just the bed sheet or the bed comforter, whatever, just the fabric of your clothes. Just touching, 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 touching. And after about 2 or 3 weeks, it's not like the pain went away, but the pain went away as a status quo. I would only be in pain when it would touch something. So, right around that time, I made this little steampunk thing, which seemed to be the the best one. I don't know why this one worked out better. Maybe because it was narrower and it wasn't getting trapped in between the sharps. Like this one actually gives out the best protection, but it gets because of the width, it gets trapped. Um, So things were going great, and I realized that if you play gospel scale or the blues scale, you don't need to use your fourth finger. You can do that with just these three fingers. Now it is good to use 4 and 5, and what I'm doing is I'm substituting finger number 5 for finger number 4. So I would do 1, 2, 3, 5, 5, right? So I spent about a week playing, and I was so happy. I was like a kid in an amusement park. So then on May 18th, which is exactly to the day, the 6-month anniversary of the injury, I go in there, and this time, you don't know who the physical therapist is going to be. It's like whatever 25-year-old kid is available, that's who you get. It's this, I was going to say boy, this young man. So we go through the physical therapy, the heat, the massage, and then all these different various exercises with all these gadgets. And then he's like, okay, bye. And I'm like, wait, we got to do the nerve thing. He goes, oh, so you want me to work on you? I'm like, okay, I'll be right back. So I'm expecting him to come out with the dowel with the felt. Instead, he's like gloving up. He's like snapping these gloves on, and he gloves up. He goes, all right, give me the finger. And he starts rubbing it, and I'm screaming. I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, oh, it's okay. It's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm like, no, it's too bad. No, 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 you can't do it. He goes, it'll be better if you close your eyes. And I'm thinking, all right, let's try it. So for 10 minutes, this guy massaged the injury. Well, needless to say, if you haven't figured it out, I'm in more pain now than the night that I cut the top of the finger off. Not only is this in pain, now the pain is shooting all the way down my hand. And that was maybe 4 or 5 days of piano playing enjoyment that I had is now completely gone. So if it took me 6 months to get from the injury to being able to play with a protected finger, I'm thinking it's going to be more than 6 months this time to heal from the damage that this, I don't know what to call him because he's not an actual licensed physiotherapist. He's someone. I don't even have the guy's full name. All I got was a first name. An employee. So I'm back to square one. I'm worse than square one. The pain in here right now, it is throbbing. Right now, as I speak, it is throbbing. And it hasn't touched anything. I'm very careful to not touch anything. So my advice to you, my dear piano playing friends, avoid going to occupational therapy. Oh, especially that place. But avoid it because they're going to make your injury worse than it was in the first place. That's my lecture for the day.